Jim Choi. Are you in a good mood or a bad mood today? Jim generally tends to lean nice guy or asshole, but nothing in the middle.
Right.
Really nice guy. Holy cow, what an asshole.
I just want to thank you all.
Jim Choi, ASU AD just said all 10 schools united. Deal coming in July or August.
Classic.
Okay, so if Ray Anderson said that,
And
I haven't seen that.
Let's go ahead and pull up Arizona Sports.
Because I'm guessing that's where he does his interviews
all his
at.
hits.
I'm just telling you. Just sat Brad Denny. And this is ASU football for CBS 5. Just sat down with Arizona State Ray Anderson for an hour. This is on a podcast. And apparently he talked about, quote, I'm very confident in the long-term viability. The 10 schools are solid. Feel it will be summertime, July or perhaps August when the media deal is announced. You're in real trouble if that's the case.
Wait, I thought it was supposed to be Thanksgiving. And then it was supposed to be Christmas. And it was supposed to be New Year's. And it was supposed to be, Valentine's Day. And then X, Y, and Z. And now we're working on July and August. So what's it going to be, dude? What's it going to be?
Yeah, I don't...
More of the same is what it is.
If this is in fact the case, one, I should say that Ray Anderson is certainly not... how do I say? He's not the most competent athletic director, right? I mean, he's not.
Doesn't make you feel responsible.
And I would remind you that this is not Ray Anderson's first comments on this here subject. If you look at Ray Anderson's history, I believe it was February, and I'm going to put it up here because we have it in our archives. You guys will remember this, that Ray Anderson in February said it would be a couple of weeks. Here's Ray Anderson from Arizona Sports with Bickley and Murata. Here, we'll get something resolved in the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks, so we can take next steps and get some of this speculation out of the air in regard to what our conference may be thinking in terms of pick off the Pac-10 teams. So wait, let me get this right. Now, from this, you're going to July or August. From February, where you said it'll be a couple of weeks. Man, I have a feeling that this is going to be...
When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer.
Yeah, no. This is crazy. And listen, I don't know why Ray Anderson is doing interviews. I think we just said not half an hour ago that it's not wise for guys like Ray Anderson to be out here talking about the Pac-12 TV deal.
Mm-hmm.
But he's told CBS 5 in Arizona through Brad Denny, I'm very confident in the long-term viability. The 10 schools are solid. He didn't say the Pac-12 is solid. The 10 schools are solid. It'll be summertime, July or perhaps August, when the media deal is announced. Then the grant of rights signed, the focus will turn to expansion. Bro, first of all, what sense does that make?
Not a lot.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I just don't know how you go from a couple of weeks to July or August. Next thing we know, it's going to be October or November.
I just don't know. I really, honestly, I just don't know how. And this is just me, dude. I don't know how you can take what Ray Anderson says seriously.
No, you can't.
I mean, yeah. This is the problem for the Pac-12, and I don't know how you fix it. I don't. Because frankly speaking, and obviously we'd love your comments on it. I just don't see what sense this makes. I don't see what sense this makes that you're talking about now July or August. Which, what does that tell you? That they are stuck with just ESPN.
Yeah.
That's what this tells you very clearly. And I'm not saying we told you so. I'm not saying any of that. But we told you so. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is,
Look here, man.
we just talked about this. Go back to the beginning of the show 38 minutes ago. We just talked about this. The fact of the matter is that with NBC Universal paying $110 million to the NFL for one playoff game to be streamed on Peacock, they're out on the Pac-12. But you already knew that Apple was teetering because Apple wants every single piece of content or none.
Mm-hmm.
We exclusively reported on the show last week, Amazon's out at the Pac-12 altogether. Where else are you going to go here? What other options do you have? Because Brian Lawler told us on the show last week when he was announcing yet another major sports rights deal for Ion TV, that they have not had any contact or interest in Pac-12 sports. So now Ion Script Sports is out, Amazon's out, it appears Apple's out, NBC Universal's out. The CW, if they were going to be in, this deal would have been done already. But now they're massively struggling with the Live Golf numbers. And their foray into sports by everybody's measure has been a massive failure, even without paying a rights fee.
Yeah.
Like, where does the Pac-12 have left to go? They're going to have to find somebody to go lock, stock, and barrel with who will pay them $200 to $250 million a year. And ESPN's not at... I mean, honestly, if it's my opinion, I think I could see ESPN going to $100 million a year. I've been told by sources just about everywhere in TV, ESPN is at $90 million a year to the Pac-12 for a 5-year deal. That's it. That's not singular TV money.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're the Pac-12. I don't know what you do here, Jake. But this report from Ray Anderson, this just seems really stupid.
I agree with you. I don't know why you're talking. I don't know why you're doing interviews. I don't know why you're exposing yourself. I don't know why you're going out there and having conversations and like saying things that put the conference in a bad light. Like, because ultimately you can sit here and like, I don't care, dude. If it's Buddy up at Washington State or Arizona State or Utah or Colorado or whoever. Like, I don't care who you are. You should not be talking. You should not be commenting. There is no good in you commenting. The next comment that should come out of the Pac-12 is, hey, this is going to be our distribution deal. That should be the next comment. Then you have a reason to talk. What's the reason to talk? Right now, there is none. Absolutely none. So that's why I say, like, when the ACC comes out and all the presidents are like, yeah, we've agreed we're not talking to the media, that's kind of how it should be. That's the smart play, because you notice we're not talking about the president at North Carolina saying some dumb stuff or FSU or whatever, you know, Clemson. Like, we're not having that conversation because none of them talk. So to me, that's what I'm saying, dude. Every day that goes by, like, we can call it dramatic, but you're inching closer and closer and closer to a dire situation, bro. You're running out of options. You're running out of time. And that's all cute and fine and dandy that you want to say that, hey, we're getting a deal done, then the focus will shift to expansion. Hey, by the way, San Diego State's running out of time, right? Because when July gets here, yeah, that exit fee triples in cost.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
I think this is just emblematic of the issues of George Kliavkoff and Larry Scott, the prior commissioner of the Pac-12. Like, the mismanagement from these two, I think, has been crippling.
Yeah.
It's been absolutely crippling. And, you know, we have talked about it on this show before, that there's a reason that you keep hearing the same people talking. This is not the first time that Ray Anderson's talked, not to be redundant. But you keep hearing from President Robbins. You keep hearing from, you know, Ray Anderson. Notice you're not hearing from, you know, President Coste at Washington. You're not hearing from Phil Knight. You're not hearing, like, these people understand leadership. And then there's this group of presidents in the Pac-12 who do not, and frankly do not care. So you get the chancellor at Colorado talking about it. You get like the quote that really should stand out to you right now is if you go back and you start remembering what President Robbins at Arizona said and knowing the Big 12 number. I know President Robbins at Arizona said to Dennis Dodd at CBS, I know what the Big 12's number is. I just need to hear what the Pac-12's number is. Then I can make a decision. That, as plain as day, make a decision on staying or going. And now you're not going to know, even though you have Arizona State's president saying there's been no discussion with the Big 12 conference on moving. I mean, there's been discussions between everyone everywhere.
Oh.
So this is the president of Arizona State.
Oh, what are you talking about, man?
Saying this. And now today, you get Ray Anderson, the athletic director at Arizona State, saying July or August. And he said July or perhaps August when the media deal gets announced. So wait, let me get this right. You're telling me we're going to go to Pac-12 Media Day at the end of July and we're not going to have an idea of what we're not going to have a new TV deal.
No.
It's not possible. How do you have Pac-12 Media Day? Pac-12 Football Media Day in Las Vegas, which, by the way, you're one of the lone conferences who hasn't announced the details of their Football Media Day. But explain to me, how do you have that event without a new TV deal if you're the Pac-12? Because what that tells me is no presidents, no athletic directors, and certainly George Kliavkoff will not be doing media. If this is to be believed from Ray Anderson, the athletic director at Arizona State, this is an absolute disaster for the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Because all this is going to do, this is just kerosene on a fire, man.
Yep.
That's all this is. Just spark it up, bro. Because now there's no going away. Now there is no going away. Make sure you guys hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Appreciate everybody who is here. And thank you to Aaron Wilson, who gifted a new membership today. Aaron, thank you very much for that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's get your thoughts in here. Where are you guys at on this? Is this new quote from Ray Anderson a problem? Tanner Plummer, they'll be on the cooking channel because the Pac will be dead meat.
So see what he did there? So that was, you notice how he worked in a dead meat reference, but then it was the cooking channel. So it's like you're cooking dead meat and it all kind of works together. You guys see how that works?
That's pretty good, Tanner. Tanner's been a little salty lately. Withdrawing himself for consideration from the RSL summer promotion.
For personal reasons.
Okay. Saul Goodman says, because it's better seeing someone else burn, Ruffs. Yep, that's not wrong. Ben Novak, perhaps Saudi Arabia or the Mexican cartels can launder money through the Pac-10 media deal broadcast on Univision and Telemundo.
Saudi stooge.
Okay. Rick Forster, Azteca TV.
There you go.
Okay. Truck Stop Gumby, Pac-12 football, your nearest Tupperware party.
Well.
Okay. C. Kaufman, as we all gather around the deathbed of the Pac-12.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Spangler says the Big 12's focus just swung completely 180 to the ACC in the last 2 days. I don't think that's necessarily the case. If I am the Big 12, I am trying to get the Arizona schools.
You're waiting to pounce.
I'm trying to get Oregon, and I'm trying to get Gonzaga. Or Oregon State, and I'm trying to get Gonzaga. That's what I'm after.
Gonzaga.
Because if that happens, I think you cripple the Pac-12. And I don't find me an ACC school that's a comfortable fit in the Big 12. Just with all due respect. Find me an ACC school that's like, oh, yeah, Georgia Tech.
With all due respect.
Man, Florida State in the Big 12 just makes total sense. No, it doesn't. Carolina, no. Duke, no. There's not one. Which ACC school belongs wholeheartedly in the Big 12?
Yeah.
There's
Good
not
luck.
one. There's not one. So I don't think the Big 12 is a fit for the ACC. I really don't. Travis Bird, if they merge, Utah will be top dogs of that conference for the next 26 years. Today's a tough day. Yeah, today's a tough day for Travis Bird.
Victor's the way.
Because he's well aware the Jazz are not going to get Victor Wembanyama coming up in less than 3 hours. 2 hours and 13 minutes until the Jazz don't get Victor Wembanyama. And Donuts, what's up? San Diego State reduced PAC share may have them making less than the Mountain West Conference. That's what I'm saying. Why would San Diego State leave?
Makes no sense, dude.
It makes no sense at all. Kurt Peters, hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
You're out of your freaking mind.
Do you know who that is? You don't know who that is?
I know the song. I can't name the artist off the top of my head.
You guys, I apologize.
Radiohead?
You said Radiohead. Wow. Jay Chapman, the Big 12 should be seriously looking at UConn, in my opinion. Maybe. I mean, again, just asking. And I'm asking for a friend. I understand the basketball value in UConn. Regionally, how do you make that work? How do you make that work?
Oh, shit.
That is not a short trip. That is not a short trip.
I thought you said it wasn't a short trip.
No, it's not. It's not an easy trip. It's not a comfortable trip. Right? But
Winter is coming.
what are you going to do? Add St. John's? You're going to add UConn? Maybe they in West Virginia and Central Florida can chill in the cut? I mean, I like UConn as a property. I just don't think it's a good fit.
Yeah, dude, UConn is a nice little program, but the Big 12 is not going out of its way to add UConn. There are much more important entities out west.
They've got to get west. And Brett Yormark has been upfront and honest about it. Their priority is the Western time zone, the Pacific time zone. He's got West Virginia, and I think part of the problem is he's got this awkward fit in West Virginia in the Eastern time zone.
Facts.
But that's not adding UConn doesn't fix your problem.
Yeah.
It does not fix your problem. Cougar tracks. As the sun sets over the Pacific Ocean, the PAC is still united. Shannon says they have nowhere to go. I don't disagree with that. Spangler, any Pac-12 that is added will dilute our conference. I totally disagree. So you're telling me Arizona basketball dilutes the Big 12?
What are you talking about, dude?
You're telling
what are you
me
talking about, man?
Arizona State, Oregon State football dilutes your conference? No, it doesn't. Utah football dilutes your conference. Because you're telling me that Utah softball, Utah women's basketball dilutes your conference?
No, it doesn't.
No, it does not. Come on. That makes no sense. Raider Mark, it will take minimum 2 years for the ACC to unravel, but all it would take to kill it would be a TV network saying they won't pay up. Well, that's not wrong. You know. Travis Bird, really good cater how you have media day. Not sure what you mean.
I'm not sure what you're talking about there, man.
Bob Holsey, let's ask Oregon and Washington where they'll be in August. Well, that's a really good question. Saul Goodman, only Oregon and Washington are good gets. No. You know what, Saul? I'm not playing your game today. No, I'm not doing it. I am somebody who, you know what, man? The mental focus that I have acquired that keeps me from falling into your trap.
Yes.
And I 100% attribute that to Bucked Up. BuckedUp.com. Use the promo code Monty to save 20% off. A new free deal for you today. My friends at Bucked Up, guys, they're releasing their brand new bars, and they want you to get them free. They want to send you a sampler pack of their bars. Look at the quality ingredients we're talking about in their bar. Protein crisps, which are high protein, made with real milk, deliver superior flavor, which, by the way, these bars are phenomenal in taste. whey protein isolate, dates. You look at the ingredients, you're getting quality ingredients, and you're getting protein, and you're getting taste. 17 grams of protein, 13 net carbs in a bar that tastes fantastic. Guys, go and get it for free. Right now, a sampler pack in the description below from Bucked Up. I think we try to tell you this every day on the show, whether it's, bars or Bucked Up shots, buck shots. We try to give you guys the opportunity to engage with our partners for free, right? And you look at Bucked Up has been so generous with our show. Every time they release a new product, they give us a free sample for our listeners. So you're going to get a sampler pack of their bars for free, shipped right to your front door for free. All you have to do, click the link in the description below. It says free Bucked Up bars right there. Click that link. Go down a little bit more. You want free bars and free buck shots. It says free buck shot. 6 free buck shots sent right to your front door. I just ordered 2 boxes of buck shot today. I love it that much. I'm telling you, Bucked Up, the thing that you can count on with Bucked Up, you guys, is they're always going to use quality ingredients that make their products effective. That is the entire game at Bucked Up, because, while you're hitting the like button, I want you to consider, if you're somebody who works out, or if you're somebody that sits behind a desk all day, you need mental focus, right? If you're somebody that works out or sits behind a desk all day, you need good quality nutrients. You need good nutrition. Bucked Up offers you all of that. And listen, if you're like me, my wife is training for a triathlon right now. I use a wide variety of Bucked Up products. Use the promo code Monty to get 20% off at buckedup.com. I did that today with my collagen peptides, 2 boxes of buckshot. And if you're in the state of Utah, go into any of their Bucked Up stores. Farmington Station, South Jordan, Orem is one of the most beautiful stores I've ever been in. Hook it up, buckedup.com. Use the promo code Monty online, or go in the store. They'll give you a free Bucked Up drink. You say, hey, I heard about you on the Monty show. They said you'd give me a free Bucked Up drink. Knock it down. But right now, get your free Bucked Up bars and buckshot in the description below. Let's get some more comments in here on our breaking news this afternoon. Ray Anderson, the athletic director at Arizona State, talking to CBS 5 in Arizona and saying that a media deal for the Pac-12 will be announced in July or August, which is just ball-breaking. What are your thoughts on that? Can they survive? Let's see. Spencer Williams gives us a $4.99 tip.
$4.99.
And by the way, you guys, I always read the comments that, like with Spencer, he gave us $4.99 to say. So I'm always going to read the comments that have a tip on them. They always get read, and they always get read first. Louisville, Pitt, Virginia Tech, and Virginia fit in the Big 12. Don't forget we have Cincinnati and West Virginia already. Well, no, of course. You have Cincinnati and West Virginia. Now, I would agree, Pitt's an interesting one, right? Because Pitt and West Virginia are natural rivals, right? So you're talking about, how does Virginia and Virginia Tech fit in the Big 12? The only thing that makes sense about that is regionality.
Yeah.
You're all playing in the same region there. You could be travel partners. Okay, I totally understand that. But again, my question is, when you add a 4th time zone, because Brett Yormark, I think, has been remarkably consistent in saying he values the Pacific time zone.
Fast.
So, and let's just pretend it's Oregon State, because I think there's a real good chance it's Oregon State, because that's really the only available program in the Pacific time zone.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, Arizona and Arizona State, they're kind of in different time zones, depending on the time of year. Sometimes they're in Mountain, sometimes they're in Pacific. The clock never changes, the time zone does, right? Oregon State is the only property that gives you the Pacific time zone. So how does Oregon State, West Virginia work? That's a big question for me.
It's a tough question.
That is a very tough question. Very tough question. But, Spencer, I think that's a good grouping. That's well thought out by you. Jeremy Callahan, Virginia Tech would fit in the 12, except they get their asses kicked so much that they would become our Rutgers. True. Saul Goodman says, LOL. Simon says, Monty, Virginia Tech is a big rival with West Virginia. Yeah, but it's not Pitt. It's not Pitt, West Virginia. Come on now. Ron McClure Arizona and Arizona State are Pacific for all in-season games, period. I live here. So do we. But again, the issue is you're talking about football. You got to remember, hey, basketball season, like, and I'm not saying that they're not fits in the Big 12.
Yeah.
They're not fully Pacific time zone teams. They're not a West Coast. Brett Yormark is looking for a West Coast enclave.
Yes.
For the Big 12. And my belief is Arizona, Arizona State, Oregon State, Gonzaga are that West Coast enclave.
Yes. Yes. Just makes sense.
It is. It
Just
absolutely
makes sense.
is. You know. Let's see. What is Spangler says they're sup casuals, Jaron Eccles,
Hello.
go Cubs. Good to see you. Spangler says they're not. I ain't hating, just keeping it real. They're not what, Spangler? Ryan Fair, good to see you. Friend, I think you want as many rivalries as possible. I think you do. I think you always do. That's the BYU-Utah conversation.
Yes.
Right? That's the BYU-Utah conversation, without a doubt. Ron says football is the only thing that counts, in my opinion. Well, not in the Big 12. You're just too used to the Pac-12, because I'm telling you, and I think we've chronicled this on this show for months and months and months.
Yes.
Basketball is a revenue stream. Notice they're not just playing Big 12 football in Mexico. No, that's in Monterey. They're playing Big 12 basketball in Mexico City.
Yeah.
They're going to Rucker Park in New York. That's a basketball enclave, right? They're driving major revenue through the best basketball conference in the country. Kansas City is their home for the Big 12 tournament. Bringing in DJs, bringing in, musical performers of note. Shaq, they're bringing in like all these big people. They're doing it upright, making it an event. Basketball is a revenue stream, and it has to be. And if you look around the country, what's the Big 10 doing with basketball? Revenue stream. What's the Big 12 doing? Revenue stream. What's the ACC not doing? Not making it a revenue stream. You look at the Big 12, you look at the Big 10. What's the Pac-12 not doing? Making basketball a revenue stream, mainly because they don't have good basketball.
Yeah.
But you look at the Big 12, best basketball conference in the country, driving revenue through events, partnerships, regionality.
Relevancy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, basketball. If you are not making basketball a revenue stream, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You're crazy. That's just my opinion. And if you are not going to Papa Murphy's Pizza and using the promo code Monty25, you're also crazy, because look what starts tomorrow. Buy one, get one free on a large or family-sized pizza May 17th through 20th. All you got to do is use the promo GETBOGO. This is a national promotion.
Yeah.
So anywhere you're listening with a Papa Murphy's Pizza, GETBOGO is your code. You get a buy one, get one free large or family-sized pizza. It's a phenomenal deal. Phenomenal deal. With the cost of that free pizza, get yourself some meatball marinara.
Yes.
Get yourself some take and bake chocolate chip cookies. I promise you will come back here and you will thank me.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do meatballs and marinara.
Papa Murphy's does meatballs?
Oh, I think you mean I do the meatballs and marinara?
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Well, we do it with savory ground beef
Covered in tangy marinara. That's how, honey.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza.
And don't forget the meatballs.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
Papa Murphy's Pizza. Again, here's the promo code for you guys. Get BOGO. Starting tomorrow through Saturday, you can buy one, get one free on a large or family-sized pizza from our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Download the mobile app. I promise you will not be disappointed. Always hooking you guys up. I'm telling you, whether it's Bucked Up or Papa Murphy's Pizza, you're always getting the hookup here on the Monty Show, which is, as always, presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. And here we are with more rain. Here we are with more thunder and flooding. And, one of the things I really love about The Advocates is they really care about their communities. So if you're in Arizona, Idaho, Wyoming, of course, a great state of Utah, the Advocates really invest in their communities, whether it's the bike drive they have coming up this weekend where they collect bikes and they donate them to the community. I mean, they just always have something, and they're always giving, great advice. One of the things the Advocates are so passionate about, like wearing helmets when you ride your bikes and your motorcycles and your scooters, because you have to expect the unexpected. Tell you, Mrs. Monty and I were going to the driving range last night, and a car just pulled out in front of us out of nowhere, and I have no idea how I avoided that car. But what did I say? When we got around that car and kept going, I said, man, I almost had to call the advocates. That's what I want you guys to think of.
Yes.
When you get in an accident in your car, hopefully it never happens. But if it does, man, I got to get to theadvocates.com. Man, I got to call the advocates. If you or your sister, your friends, your family, you get hurt at work, workman's comp is such a dangerous situation, theadvocates.com. You get hit while you're riding your bike. You get hit while you're driving your motorcycle. Because how many cars? We see it every day, right? When you're riding your motorcycle, how many cars are crowding motorcycles, tailgating motorcycles, right? Like, it's just an amazing, amazing lack of awareness. But if you get hit on your motorcycle, you didn't deserve that, but you do deserve an advocate, theadvocates.com, UtahAdvocates.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. When you chat with an attorney live online for free, 24/7, 365, because you never pay the advocates until they win your case. Talking about the Big 12, we're just 2 hours away from the NBA draft lottery coming up in 27 minutes.
Yes.
We will break Big Daddy Magic's heart.
We're terrible people.
With our latest reporting
Victor's
on the Utah Jazz. Not for the Jazz.
Victor's the way.
You know, it's not good. But Rick Forrester says if you ask for a pineapple pizza in Rome, they will hang you.
Nice. Good thing we're not in Rome.
Well, when I'm there next year, I'll ask. Travis Bird, the BYU football team is no nationwide. Stop, Travis. Ron McClure, Big 12 fan hatred is real. That's the truth. Look at this chat. Big 12 fan. You people hate Big 12 fans? Is that what you mean? Boyd Lake, I want OSU and OSU in the same conference. How cool would that be? The Pokes playing the Beavers. My God.
The Beavers.
The Beaver. Beaver. Let's see. Nate B says Boyd Lake, same color scheme as well. Beaver. Okay. I don't know. Boyd Lake, colors for the Pokes and the Beavers is pretty similar. It is.
Guys.
Cougar Tracks. Monty, you need to do something about Travis. Please. What do you... You're all free to comment what you like. Travis Bird, I don't know why he rips BYU on a regular basis.
Yeah, I don't get it.
But making ridiculous comments like that, I wouldn't do that, Travis. Jet Wayman, the Tile King of Utah.
Cow turd.
Hi, Jet. Good to see you. Don't you wish everybody got welcome to the chat like that? Jeremy Callahan, didn't Big Daddy Magic steal all Frodo's hose in his Mandalorian underoos? I believe he did.
Okay.
I believe he did. Pretty sure.
Ducking, no smoke.
But if you're just tuning in this afternoon to the Monty Show, the biggest stories in sports, I certainly think you're looking at this situation with the Pac-12 now. And if you missed it, Ray Anderson, the athletic director at Arizona State, really fired some folks up this afternoon when he told CBS 5 in Arizona that, quote, Pac-12, I'm very confident in the long-term viability. The 10 schools are solid. Feels it will be, quote, summertime, July or perhaps August when the media deal is announced, then the grant of rights signed. Well, it doesn't work that way. Boy, I just noticed that. July or perhaps August when the media deal is announced, then the grant of rights are signed. That's not the way it works. I don't know. Am I making too much of this?
Yeah, that's not how it works.
You're not going to announce a media deal until the grant of rights is signed.
Yeah, you don't have a media deal until the grant of rights is signed, bro.
So just to, dot the I's and cross the T's, the way these deals work are in the Pac-12, George Kliavkoff's the commissioner who sits below the executive committee of 3 presidents. Those presidents all have pods with the remaining 7 teams or schools in the conference. George Kliavkoff takes his media deal that he gets to the executive committee, who then goes to their pods and gets a grant of rights signed by each member.
Yeah.
The issue has been that George has not been able to bring a deal to the table that the executive committee believes they can get a grant of rights on.
Yeah.
You have nothing without a grant of rights, because a grant of rights, remember, is each university granting their right to broadcast their athletic competitions to the conference. They're not granting their rights to ESPN. The conference then, who owns the rights to all of those 10 schools, sells those rights to ESPN, who then broadcasts their games. But if you don't have a grant of rights from all 10 members, you don't have a conference-wide TV deal.
Right.
Period. So that's an interesting little nugget there. Media deal announced, and then the grant of rights is signed. You guys think I'm making too much of that?
I don't think you're making too much of it. I like, he's an athletic director. You have to know how these things work, dude. Like, it's if I said, hey, a Pac-12 athletic director misspoke when talking about the process by which a media deal is done, would anyone be surprised? I wouldn't be surprised, with all due respect to the Pac-12. So, no, I don't think you're making too much of it. And notice that the Yormarks, of the world don't make these kind of mistakes. And they don't make these kind of mistakes because they don't need to talk about the process by which a deal gets done, because the deal's done already. That's it. It's that simple. So to me, Ray Anderson can keep talking and keep running his mouth, and Kirk up at Washington State can keep running his mouth, and we can get, President Robbins at Arizona running his mouth. But ultimately, it's not good for any of these schools. It's not good for the conference. It's not good for the long-term viability. And that's why I say, dude, if you're at $20 million a year, let's say, overall, that's a struggle. I don't know how you as a conference or as an institution survive on that. I really don't. But this, to me, and again, I have to think he's quoted properly, right? What's the reporter who had him on his podcast? Can't remember his name. But that dude does good work. Like, I'd be surprised if it was misquoted somehow. Like, Brad Denny. Like,
that's a
you know what I mean?
shocking misstatement. I will reach out to Brad and see if he can clarify that. But there's going to be a podcast from this particular conversation that'll be published tonight, apparently. And I don't, Lopes fan Gabe sent me a question like, why are these guys still talking? I have no idea. Because again, if Ray Anderson actually said that, and I'm not trying to be a dick about this in any way, shape, or form. Look at the second paragraph. Summertime, quote unquote, July or perhaps August, when the media deal is announced, then the grant of rights signed. That's not how it happens. So does Ray Anderson not know that, or is Brad Denny speaking out of turn?
Yeah, well, and I think if you go back to it real quick, I think the only other thing to look at here that I think is of question, notice where the quotes are at. So the quoting symbols are, obviously are around, I'm very confident in the long-term viability of, the 10 schools are solid. And then the quotes are around the word summertime. So, and again, I'm not trying to slander Brad Denny at all, but it makes me kind of think, okay, yeah, maybe this is a mistake. I don't know, but I'm very curious to hear this podcast, because if Ray Anderson said that is that you can't say that. I mean, that's just not how media deals work. And again, that's not even an opinion. That's just a fact. That's not even in dispute. Like, you can't announce a media deal then sign a grant of rights. Like, that's just not that's not us hating on someone. That's just simply not how the process works.
Man, I really hope that's a misquote from Brad Denny, because if Ray Anderson said that, he looks like a complete jackass.
Yeah.
Because that is a glaring omission. A glaring omission. If that is in fact true. I just...
Yeah.
I don't mean to keep putting it back up there, but this is a shocker. That is shocking to me that he would say that, because that's just not how it works, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's a completely that's just like a very uninformed take almost, I feel like, like that's just not, you don't say something like that. And again, I almost feel like, hey, you went on a podcast. Did you not have a plan of what you wanted to say? I mean, again, like just looking at this, I'm inclined to say it was a mistake, and that Ray Anderson didn't say that. I'm inclined to believe that because you don't put quotes around certain things and not others. And again, it's not quoted, right? The quoting symbols are not around, hey, grant of rights, or announce media deal, then grant of rights. So I'm guessing this was a mistake, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. And I hope that Ray Anderson didn't say that, because it's just, you guys, and I'm not trying to be anti-Pac-12. I am not anti-Pac-12, but this would just be another foot in the mouth of a really important figure.
Yeah.
Ray Anderson, and I'm not speaking about he has been a terrible athletic director, in my opinion. But you look at the way that this situation is playing out, you can't afford to have that type of misspeak. I really hope that this is not Ray Anderson saying that.
It would be shocking, honestly. I mean, because that's just not how it works. And if it is Ray Anderson, and I can assure you, we will find this clip. I promise you that we will find this at some point when it's posted.
But why talk? This is what I struggle with. Why talk? Why? What is and I understand that this is a podcast, and why are you talking? If it is like Arizona Sports 98.7 is the sports behemoth in the state of Arizona. Usually they do like the front office guys, like all the sports executives. Okay, I totally understand that.
Yep.
But this is a podcast with some dude from CBS TV. Did you really need to go and do this podcast? Like, why would you do this? It's so frustrating to me. It is. As somebody who tries to be a fan of the Pac-12, and until this TV deal, I was a massive Pac-12 football fan.
Mm-hmm.
The game of football in the Pac-12, I'm a huge fan. I love going to Pac-12 stadiums. I think the Coliseum, Rice-Eccles Stadium, again, I will say is the best home field advantage in the Pac-12, hands down. But you can't. These people are becoming unlikable.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's whether it's Ray Anderson or George Kliavkoff, like there is a large group of people in this conference that just should stop talking.
Agreed.
It's
brutal.
I don't understand. I just don't understand. Like, you're talking and you are exposing yourself.
Yeah, but that's why the Pac-12 is a story every day, because there's always something about this portion or that portion or detail here, detail there. And that's what I'm saying. Like, on one hand, I wouldn't even be surprised if Ray Anderson said that on some level, because, again, that would just be classic Pac-12, not knowing the process, not being good. Like, that wouldn't be surprising to me.
This is also the guy that Ray Anderson, that in my opinion has held back Arizona State football. And I think has not done enough to prop up like the ASU refusing to play GCU, like the Arizona State sports has been a disaster for pretty much as long as he's been there.
Yeah.
Like Todd Graham and the fundraising that Todd did to get that stadium renovated, and it's nothing short of a miracle. But, dude, they don't win. They don't win. And they're not a great basketball program. They're not a great football program. Hell, they're a baseball program, sort of.
Hockey's been doing well.
Hockey's been a revelation at Arizona State, and as if the Arizona Coyotes. But you build a beautiful 5,000-seat hockey venue, but it's so frustrating. I believe Arizona clinched the Territorial Cup yesterday. Again, Arizona's far more relevant in basketball. Like, why is Ray Anderson talking? Like, he just makes it, you're unlikable.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and in a league where you have some really compelling storylines, before they left, obviously, USC trying to rebuild and become a national power again, and now you hire Lincoln, and like they're the best team in the country. recruiting-wise and transfer portal-wise, and I think they have a chance to win a national championship right now.
Yeah.
So you have a chance before the realignment and the change is going to happen. The Pac-12 has a chance to make it to the college football playoff because I actually think Utah, Washington, and USC are going to be very good this year. Get a TV deal done and put a flipping muzzle on your presidents and your athletic directors. Stop. And we can be frustrated with, Ray Anderson, but even when Mark Harlan was on Bill Riley's show in Salt Lake City last week, on ESPN 700 in Salt Lake City last week, Mark Harlan, the athletic director at Utah, went on. Did he make an ass of himself and get misquoted? He didn't. He handled it really well. Really, really well. But Mark Harlan's a likable guy.
Yeah.
That's a program that wins.
Yeah.
And you have a guy in Ray Anderson who doesn't win, says stupid shit, and now did it again on a podcast that he chose to go on, which I just don't understand.
Where are we at in society today?
It is so incredibly frustrating to me.
Yeah.
And we talked about this a lot because we used to work at a really crappy radio station in Phoenix. But Arizona State gave us incredible access.
Yes.
And they just couldn't get out of their own way.
And they still can't get out of their own way.
And it's not changed.
Yeah.
It's not changed. And I don't know how you fix stupid.
You don't.
Because that's what this feels like.
Because it's garbage.
I'm not trying to, rail on this, but God, dog. Up north war dogs. Monty, you're definitely anti-Pac-12. Okay. You feel that way? Okay, great. Cool. Sean Mierzinski, anybody who knows anything about these kind of deals knows that's not what happens. But then why say that?
Because I think it's a mistake.
I think it has to be a mistake.
It has to be. I mean, I again, and I'm not even a Ray Anderson guy. I can't believe that he would have said that. Can't believe it.
Yeah, I have a real problem believing that. You know what? I will even go as far as to say I'm sitting here hoping that that's not on tape. I am sitting here hoping that Ray Anderson is not on tape on this CBS podcast in Arizona saying that, yeah, we'll get a media rights deal and then a grant of rights. Man, I hope that's not the case, dude. I really do. Vorlon Angel. Boastful speeches are the first sign of weakness, and those who are capable of great things keep their mouths shut. Cicero. That ain't wrong. That ain't wrong, man. You're not wrong. Ron McClure. Fire Ray Anderson. Big movement here. Amen to that. Tanner Plummer. So what does that quote say about the show, Vorlon Angel? Wow. So now we're going to come out swinging today, Tanner.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, I mean, you read the quote. He's saying that we're boastful. And it's a sign of weakness. Okay, Tanner.
Okay.
I see how it's going to be. Vorlon says, Tanner, it applies to the Anderson talking as well as others in the PAC. Some people make their bed, Tanner. Brandon Butler, the Pac-10 is the conference of gaffes.
Dude.
This appears to be that way. This appears to be that way.
I don't mean to be repetitive, but I just would be shocked, dude. Like,
I can't believe he would say that.
I can't imagine that dude would have said that. And it does kind of add up that because, and not to disparage this podcast at all, I'm not even trying to do that, but this isn't like you did an interview, again, with a major media tier 1 outlet, like this is a podcast. So it would,
and it's an Arizona State podcast.
Yeah, so it would make sense that, hey, maybe you don't know how grant of rights works and you did it the wrong way.
This podcast is called Speak of the Devils, the premier ASU football podcast. And I just would be really, yeah, this is shocking.
Right? Like,
because are you telling me you host the premier Arizona State football podcast and you don't know how the grant of rights works? Come on now.
Or are you telling me that it's bigger breaking news that Ray Anderson has no idea how a grant of rights work, and that's bigger news than the Pac-12 burning to the ground.
Yeah. Aaron Wilson says, I wonder if Oregon AD will go on my podcast. He could. Maybe he will.
You should ask.
You know. Gary Godorov. Pac-12 cannot keep Oregon and Washington. Big Ten offers way more money. They are gone. Oregon and Washington made contact with the Big Ten, so how would the Big Ten viewed as killing the Pac-12? Oh, I don't think there's any question how that would be. And I understand it because there's no hurry, and this is the same thing in the Big 12. There's no hurry to go and add people because if it's available to Oregon and Washington now, it's going to be available to Oregon and Washington before 2024 hits.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason to rush. Christopher Shannon says Autzen. I think Rice-Eccles has a better home field advantage than Autzen.
Yeah.
If you have not been to Rice-Eccles Stadium at the University of Utah against a USC, Oregon, Stanford a couple of years ago, when there's a big game there,
night game, 35 degrees,
dude,
you're going there to die.
You're going there to die.
Facts.
That's exactly right.
Facts.
That's exactly right. Don in Kansas says becoming unlikable. That's a generous take. Well, you're not wrong, Don. You're not wrong. I mean, but this is what we've talked about. This is what we've talked about. You on some level, and I don't care who you are in this world. If you're on the street and you see somebody and you make eye contact, treat them well. Say hello. If you walk into your building every day and there's a security guard, say hello. Treat them well because there's no reason not to.
Yeah.
But the problem is the Pac-12 doesn't treat people well, and they haven't. And now George Kliavkoff, do you know the line I hear more about George Kliavkoff than anything else? Back of the envelope calculations.
Well, how do you not? I mean,
I hear it all the time.
Is it not the most famous one-liner we've heard in ages?
Yeah.
I mean, is it not? I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah. Don't disagree. Jet Wayman gives us a $5 tip to say, are the Jazz getting lucky today? No, they're not.
No,
they're not. If not, who are we taking at 9? And thanks, guys. Well, we've talked about that a lot. 6 minutes, we'll switch gears to that, Jet. San Diego State Aztec Warrior, welcome to the show, gives us a $5 tip. What do you think about San Diego getting an MLS team on Thursday? It's about damn time. It's about damn time. I mean, I think you can easily support a third MLS team in Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a significant argument in MLS circles about whether or not the Galaxy and LAFC, and because LAFC now owns Real Salt Lake.
Right.
I'm kidding. But those two clubs, my feeling is you have plenty of bandwidth to add MLS to San Diego.
Absolutely.
It's always been something we've talked about. It's always been something where we've wondered, hey, why are we not doing that? So I think it's a huge move. Let's see. D-Rock, what's up, my guy? Actually, the podcast updates us daily on Pac-12 news. Don't think this will not impact the college football landscape. Thank you, gentlemen, for reporting out. You are very welcome. I just am shocked by this.
Yeah, I don't understand, and I'll look real quick just to verify. I mean, I got to believe he'd put it on Twitter if he put out that episode. But, the idea that you would make that mistake, if it is indeed a mistake,
shocking,
is absolutely shocking, and tells me you don't understand the severity of that mistake.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't have that, man. That doesn't work.
Archer Quick, what's up, Arch? USC reached out to the Big Ten and brought little brother to killer Pac-12. I agree with that. And the best part, Archer, is the president at USC, she was in the meetings talking about expanding the Pac-12 and killed those conversations allegedly. Not allegedly. Is said to have killed those conversations.